What's up, guys? Today we are going to talk about the Tiffen 67mm VND filter, which I am using on my Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens for the Canon M50. Let's talk about it. How is everybody doing? Welcome to UrbanBDKNY, where we do unboxing and product reviews ranging from computer to camera gear. I try to post a video every 7 to 10 days, so if that's something you're interested, please consider subscribing right now. So today we're going to talk about the 67mm VND filter from Tiffen that I use on my Sigma 16mm lens for my Canon M50. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly unbox it, and then we're going to go outside and do different tests. We're going to run about 3 different tests. We're going to run on auto without the VND filter. Then we're going to do manual without the VND filter. And then we're going to do manual with the VND filter. And we're going to see what different results we get outside. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing and then we can go outside. Alright guys, so here is the filter box. This is going to be a quick unboxing because there's not much in here. We can see this is a Tiffen 67mm variable ND filter from Tiffen. So let's go ahead and see what's inside. We have this little pouch here, pretty nice pouch. Let's crack that open. And let's see, this is neatly wrapped. And here is the actual filter, which we are going to be putting on the Sigma lens. So let's go ahead and jump outside so that we can film this and see what we get with the 3 different scenarios. Alright guys, so we are now downstairs and I have the recording settings set to automatic to let the camera do its thing and pick whatever it thinks is best for this scenario. But you guys are gonna see that as soon as I turn to manual mode and I set the camera settings and the lens to f1.4, it's gonna look a lot different and it's not gonna be a very pleasant image. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then you guys see what I'm talking about. I'm not sure how long I'll stay in that mode because it might be too ugly and too bright. I am now recording at f1.4. I'm recording manual, so I have set the ISO to 100, which is the lowest we can set on this camera and many cameras. And you tell me how this looks. Clearly, it's terrible. So there are 2 ways to get around this. One is to use a VND filter, and the other is to play around with the camera settings. For example, you can play around with the camera shutter speed. You can raise that up, and what it's going to do is let a lot less light into the lens, which in part then balances out the washed out look that you might be seeing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and change that and set the shutter speed to something higher so that we can see how that looks. Alright, so I have now set a shutter speed of 1/800 and the ISO is still at 100 and the aperture settings are f1.4. So as you can see, this eliminates technically the need for a VND filter, but this is not something you necessarily want to do if you're in a rush or if you are not someone who is proficient or an expert or even intermediate level camera user, because these are settings you will have to master and play around with. The easy thing is just to use a VND filter. Now, I got my VND filter from B&H Photo and it cost me about $99. What that allows you to do is just slap this in the front of the lens and just turn the knob, and it will eliminate those problems that you have by either letting in less or more light. Now, this camera has a maximum shutter speed of 1/4000. I believe cameras that are more high-end or more featureful will allow you to go higher. You can see right now I'm in pretty bright light against the sun. If I put this at 1.4 right now, I have no idea what you will see. I'm gonna walk back through the spot and set that up just to see how bad it looks. But anyway, so there's a couple of ways that shutter speed affects what your video looks like. One of them is if you lower the shutter speed too much below what you're currently filming at. Right now I'm filming at 60 frames per second. You're going to see a lot of blur in your images. Like if you wave your hand like this, it's gonna look super blurry. Now when you increase it, it eliminates that blur, makes it more exact, which means that you actually see less and less blur of any motion type, motion blur to be specific. So anyways, we can move on to what the VND filter looks like and how that works after I just walk by here with f1.4 aperture to see how bad it looks. All right, so I mean, I look like I'm in heaven right now. I'm not gonna keep this up for long. What I meant to say was an f1.4 with a shutter speed of 125, which is about double of 60 frames per second. All right, so I have set it to f1.4 now, and I have the variable filter set to min. I believe this has 6 stops. So I have the variable filter set to min, and you can see how much light it's letting through still, but it's also allowing me to have that blur in the background, which is really why you pay for this lens, like I said before. And we can go ahead and adjust this. Let me try to turn around to where there's a wash look. We can go ahead and adjust this to tone it down. So there we are at 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 stops. And clearly that helps. So, is it worth buying a VND filter? This one cost me $99 from B&H, and I would say absolutely yes, without a doubt. It makes it extremely easy for you to be able to shoot in bright environments and still be able to get your blurry background and make you stand out in your video image. And so I absolutely recommend doing this. So the one thing I forgot to mention is I am planning on doing a video on the aperture triangle. If you don't know what that is, just Google quickly. I'll actually throw up a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. But it basically explains the different ways that you can allow light into your video with the aperture, the ISO, as well as the shutter speed. So if that's something you guys want to see, let me know in the comment section, and that's a video that I will go ahead and make for you guys. All right, guys. So I hope you found some value in this video. I hope I've convinced you to buy a VND filter if you have a lens that actually has the type of aperture that's gonna need one, so that you don't go out there and record bad footage with your new expensive or fancy lens that you bought. If not, I hope that I also showed you how you can get around using a VND filter by updating your camera settings and running in manual mode so that you can also get the same blurry background without having to buy a VND filter. That is the video. I hope you guys appreciate the video. I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I release a new video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.